able to interpret what you read and take it at face value if possible, or a deeper than face value if necessary. So, cool? Any questions on this? Did you guys get your ballots in the mail for all the, I just got something mailed to me like 2 days ago about, I guess you could vote for this and other stuff, I guess. I don't know, I haven't read it yet. Probably should do that, sure. Oh, that's what I got too, was the book, not the ballot. Okay, I should read the book at some point. Cool? Okay. So anyway, I'll get some more quizzes up for you guys. Don't tell 243 about this, and don't show them the math, because they have to do that math. I think they can handle it, but keep on the DL. What else? So the quizzes, how many of you guys did both of them? Anybody do both of them? Totally expected. Totally expected, you got a project due. Anybody do neither of them this week? Yeah, expected, right? You got too much else to do, that's why I post so many. I brought an in-class quiz for us to do today. Hopefully we get to it. That way we make up for the ones you didn't get out of class. So try to protect you in that way. Project, how was it? Decent? Good. Decent? Made you think a little bit, hopefully? Like, what's wrong with this? What happened here? When you mentioned the poll, Chris, I thought you meant the Obama poll that was in the project. The one about rating the... I haven't clicked on that link in a long time. It might not even be active anymore, Chris.
No, I tried and I couldn't.
That's okay, because the instructions said don't even bother looking at it.
Did you actually get everybody's... the last question? Or?
I haven't opened them yet, but what I have instead, Chris, if you don't mind, I have the past few years worth of data. I haven't put your guys into this yet, and unfortunately, I don't think I'll get it. I'll put it in when I get back to the office today, but I won't. I'll forget to show it to you next time. Here is the results. Here are the results of every other class that's ever done this project, and what they put up for the last rectangle questions. And I want to go through this because I'm glad you asked. I'm glad I remember to do it too. So we were okay with the definitional questions, were pretty simple, and then the find the problems with the studies, fairly, chances are you have different answers, and that's even better. I love that, if you find different problems. So this one was the last one, was the rectangle. So Chris, why did you ask? Just because you wanted to know?
Yeah, I felt like I had an extreme answer, and I just wanted to compare it.
That's okay. Now, which one of the three did you think was extreme? The guess, the 10-second guess?
The actual result.
The actual result. Love that. So you got a 10-second guess where you're like, did you guys remember that from 243? I had you do something similar in 243 at the very beginning. I showed you Inigo Montoya's soliloquy from The Princess Bride, and I told you to guess what the average length of a word in that paragraph was. Some of you remember it. It's okay if you don't. It's the same thing with that one. When you look at those rectangles, you had to guess what the average was after 10 seconds. You're not qualifying. It's too quick, right? So you just guessed. And what you see right here, the blue histogram, let me kill these lights a little better. The blue histogram is the 10-second guess results. So if you look at that histogram, it's phenomenally bell-shaped, which is pretty rad. Got some goofy outliers over here. What you'd expect. You'd expect, I'm saying guess, and you don't really get a chance to look at what you're looking at. I expect some people to say, oh, the average is 52. Then you go back and look and you realize there's nothing bigger than 18, so it can't be 52, but that's okay. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. So here's what the 10-second guess results are over time. Fair so far? Then I said, go back in, take as much time as you need to look at the rectangles, as much time as you need. And then pick, I think I said pick 5, average those. There's the red curve behind it is now this one. Now notice what happened. Notice what happened. There's an interesting spike here. I don't know what happened here. This is fun. I can't explain those. These spikes over here at the far side above 13. I have a guess, but my guess is only, I would put about 50% confidence in my guess. And then, I told you to go back in and using some kind of technology, I think I gave you instructions for your TI, generate 5 random numbers between 1 and 100 and go average those 5 rectangles. And then you get this beautiful little green curve right here with no outliers on the outside. Now what's interesting is the actual area is almost exactly 7. Average area is almost exactly 7. Almost exactly 7. And if you notice where the green curve's hump is and follow it down, it's right where it should be. You guys, whether you pick a representative areas yourself or if you go with your guess, you overestimate. Look at where the averages of the curves go. The more refined your sampling methodology, the better your average gets. Now, why do you overestimate? Why? Elizabeth?
Because there's a whole bunch of single squares.
Oh, there sure are. There sure are. If we go back to that, ADUS rule. Let me get there really quick. You got it, Elizabeth.
I was counting them.
Yeah. Oh, you were actually. That's for you. Yeah.
That's 243.
That's 243.
It's okay. Same schedule page. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me honest. Let me just find the project here. No. Here we go.
My eye tended to go to the larger ones. So
Yes, and I think human beings do that.
Oh, mine was.
This was the Inigo Montoya thing from 243. You looked at words like slaughtered, refuse, and you forget the words like I, to. And if you look at this picture, let me find it at the bottom here. And show the rectangles again. And here are the rectangles. Right. Who's looking down here?
I was.
I wasn't. I was not.
Faster.
Oh, that's very true. But the thing is that I don't know if it's a biological or a historiobiological reason, but we tend to focus on those larger ones. They're in the middle. Maybe that's it. Maybe because we read left to right, we start up here. I mean, who knows why? It'll be fun. I should try this some class. Reorient the picture so the little ones are up top left and see if I get different results. I'll totally forget that I even just said that. Okay, I got it recorded. That's good. Yeah, that'd be fun. Do a little A-B stuff and see if there's a difference. But whatever reason it is, I think our eyes are drawn to the center, or put them in the middle, and put these guys to the outside and see if that changes things. I don't know. But yeah, that they drive the average down, because they each count as one rectangle, right? They each count as one rectangle. So, fun. And importance, it emphasizes the importance of what? What was the whole point? Please, Ben?
Good sampling.
Good sampling. And what's the best word you can include when you talk about sampling? Randomness. You have to imply randomness, at least at a pseudo-random level. What do I mean when I say pseudo-random? Anybody know what I mean when I say that? Pseudo, P-S-E-U-D-O. So sort of random.
As close as you can get to being random.
As close as you can get to being truly random. What's a good pseudo-random way of sampling? What's a good thing you can use? You guys probably used it last night when you did this.
Closing your eyes and putting your finger on.
That's actually better than what I was thinking, as long as you can guarantee you yourself are being random. How many of you guys use your TIs? That's a pseudo-random number generator. It has to be kind of random and not truly random because it's a computer. And because it's a computer, that means that it has an algorithm. And if it's an algorithm, that means it's called something that's called deterministic, which means if you know what the input is, you can guarantee to know what the output is. That's why I had you guys, if you did the whole thing from top to bottom, you had to put your birthday in, right? The assumption was that we all had different birthdays, at least if you go down to the year anyway. And that way we'll all put a different input in, which is pseudo-random, right? Our birthdays are random-ish. And that way we'll at least get different results. So that's how it's called seeding a random number generator. Excel needs the same thing. TI, any computer system needs a seed to start the randomization process. You were going to say something else though, Ben, when I said pseudo-random. Or are you going to go with technology? When I say what's a good pseudo-random, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to think through the different samples.
Yeah, totally. I mean, random digit dialing, you often see this one in Gallup polls. It's all based on a computer generation of whatever. They pick a zip code at random and they pick a number at random. I mean, it's all based somehow on computer technology. Although, Chris, you just described the way it used to be. You used to take a die or a coin or something and you have what's called a random number table. I'll show you one of those. I can show you, we're going to do a little bit of this. Is what we used to do it today. Random number table. There you go. Let's just look at this one here. There you go. There's a table of random numbers. Oh, it's computer generated. Shit. No, wrong. I don't want computer generated. I want a true random number table. I don't know if this one is or not. But this is how certain folks were employed during World War II. I should say between World War I and World War II. During the Great Depression, a very clever way of employing people was to make them create random number tables. And you're thinking to yourself, what the hell? Why would you pay someone to do something we know they can't do? So what they would have them do is actually run experiments using real things. Remember how Gossett created the T distribution by pulling papers out of a hat? Essentially, they did the same thing with, I mean, this is all random digits, so it's a 10-sided die. Roll the die and write down what you get. Roll a die, write down what you get. That's one way to generate a random, and it's purely random. When you're throwing a die, if the die is balanced, that's more random than any calculator. It's pretty badass if you think about it. Now, Excel and the TIs give us the ability to randomize quickly and over thousands of trials very, very quickly. This would take a human being all day to do, or at least the better part of the morning. But it's also perfectly random, whereas Excel is pseudo-random. The question is pseudo-random enough? For our purposes, yes, for sure, it gets the job done. Now, you might need better random methodologies. My dad, when he used to work at DuPont, had a password generator. It was this crazy little credit card shaped thing that had a password, like an 8-digit password that changed every 10 seconds. I said, Dad, what the hell? How do they do that? It was like this crazy super secret government contract they were working on, building some process, I don't know. And he's like, well, there's some random number generator at work. that spits out a new 8-digit password every 10 seconds, and you have to make sure you get the right one in. I'm like, what if you're typing it and it changes? Like, well, you wait till it changes and you type really fast. And I'm guessing that that's not using Excel. I'm guessing that's using something a little more refined. And I've talked to computer science guys and girls, and what they tell me is they hook some kind of a clock into the random number generator. And that gets you more randomness. So it's really freaking fun. I would love to teach a course completely on modeling using pseudo-random number generators and doing statistics. They won't let me yet. I'm going to keep pushing on that, but we're getting there. Fair-ish, maybe, kind of. Cool. All right. So anyway, we're going to look back at some other old stuff today too. But I'm glad the project went well for you guys. That makes me happy. And Chris, does that answer your question about the? Yeah. I love this. I love this, and you guys will become part of that data. And you can come back and visit next term, and you can see your data up there too. It goes. If you look down, here's all my data. Scroll down at the bottom here, and notice there's certain holes in the data. Those are ones I've left out because they're impossible. Somebody misread my directions. Like they put an average, this is the, you pick 5 randomly and average them, and they put something like 55 down. I'm like, well, maybe they average the numbers and not the size of the rectangle.
You can count the whole thing and like.
Totally possible. Whatever it was, it couldn't be true, so I took it out. So, anyway, fun. Fun, fun, fun. We'll get back to that in a minute. Okay, so, actually, let's go back to here for a second. I want to revisit, we never got a chance to finish this, which it was unfortunate. We got cut off in the middle, but whatever, it's totally fine. We never got around to answering the question that we started asking yesterday. Are the lights off okay? You want them back on?